Attention! We do accept super chats and memberships. All monies earned goes directly back into the channel to allow for more giveaways, prizes, and perks for our viewers and listeners. The cost of running shows like this can be expensive and timely, and we do it for you. If you can help support the channel, we greatly appreciate it. But if you can't, all we ask is that you use your social media to share and support that way. We love and thank you in advance. And as always, please remember to be respectful in the chat. All right, here we go. Oh, hey there, guys. My name's Ty. I'm the creator of Pop Culture Corner. You may know me, but I know that you know that today is Jivin with Joe. And as always, Jivin with Joe pushes the boundaries. It pushes the edges of what content on YouTube can be. No one is safe and nothing is ever offline. Now, what Joe's been able to do is absolutely crazy. I'm so happy to have him as part of the team and as part of the Pop Culture Corner Pantheon. Jivin with Joe has been one of our longest running shows here at the Pop Culture Corner, and it has done tremendously well for our network. Now, with that being said, let's introduce our host with the most, Mr. Crazy Joe.
What up, Jive Turkeys? How you doing? Welcome to Jivin' with Joe, the long-running show here on the Pop Culture Corner. I'm happy to still be doing this because, oh man, we've been doing this for so long, and it's just a blast. So just remember, if you wanna send in a super chat, our good buddy Super Chat Hippo will sing his song to you. You know, that his song from his heart to you every time you send in a super chat, but they're not necessary if you feel generous. But we got a lot to talk about today. Let's bring in my co-host, the one and only Ty, the man who makes the Pop Culture Corner what it is.
Oh my God, it's good to be back on the Tuesday. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Almost as good as last week.
Yeah, I mean, last week we had a really engaging conversation, and you know, it just goes to show you, I when you pitched this show to me, you know, I just you had done so much at that time, and I was so truly grateful for you. But I mean, with that being said, I mean, last week's conversation was really fun. I know this week's conversation is going to be super fun too. Madam Webb casting, guys. I think you saw Moonfall, right? You saw Moonfall?
I did. I just saw
Joe?
Moonfall this afternoon.
So was it a box office bomb, or was it worth all the hype? Who knows? Crazy Joe's here to tell us. I definitely haven't seen it, and I probably won't get out there to see it. But I mean, this is your show, so I know you had something you wanted to start with. You know, with something.
Yeah, I sent you a screenshot. Do you have that screenshot that I sent you?
Where did you send that?
It's on Twitter. I sent you a little screenshot of a Twitter conversation, part of a Twitter conversation that happened this morning, and I'd like to talk about this just a little bit.
Okay, I got it.
You see,
I'll pull it up here.
Let me start off with I'm always very fascinated by language and things we say and things we say that don't make sense to me. And you know, there's things that are expressions, figures of speech, but they just don't make sense to me. Like a good example is in the movie Men in Black. There's a scene in Men in Black where Kay takes Jay to look at the weapons, and he says, "That's what I'm talking about." And I said, "No, he wasn't. He wasn't talking about it. He at no point was he talking about weapons. You know, there was deep." And people say, "Well, that's a figure of speech." I go, "Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. He wasn't talking about it." But here we go. This morning, some guy on Twitter said that I was a WB apologist. And I responded to this. I said, apologist. I said, I'm not an apologist, because what is an apology? An apology is someone has done wrong and you beg forgiveness.
Right.
That's what an apology is. I'm begging no forgiveness because I genuinely like what WB is doing. I think what they're doing right now is good. So I'm not going to apologize for it because I don't feel there's been wrongdoing. I
Right.
would call myself a WB thankist. I
Thank
thank
yes.
them. I thank them. I thank them for what they're doing. The word, what is apologist? I mean, because I offer no apology.
Right.
None. You get no apology from me because I'm like, bring on what's coming.
So what's the context to this? Like, so what you're defending?
Well,
Like,
we were talking. This topic was somebody was talking about Mortal Kombat did better on HBO Max than Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I said, well, that's to be expected because Mortal Kombat was a brand new movie. It was a brand new movie. And
right.
while Zack Snyder's Justice League had a built-in fan base that wanted to see it, to the average moviegoer, to the average man on the street who is not, real into these things, they just saw, oh, there's a director's cut of that movie that came out 4 years ago that I didn't care for. So
Right.
to the average audience, of course, a brand spanking new movie that they haven't seen before is going to appeal to them more than a director's cut of a film that maybe they did see and they didn't care for. And
Exactly. And that's then that was that was part of the problem with the marketing for Zack Snyder's Justice League is not a lot of people knew that it was a new thing. Like it was not the old one. It's a separate entity altogether. Whereas Mortal Kombat has a huge fan base. I mean, huge fan base, especially for the video games. In recent years, Mortal Kombat is really dove into the lore and the backstories of the characters and stuff like that. So I think people are really excited for Mortal Kombat. Whereas with Zack Snyder's Justice League, they just didn't know. They just didn't understand. So there was definitely a problem with the marketings. So agreed. I don't know. I wouldn't consider you a WB apologist. I just think you're a realist.
yeah,
I
I mean, as with all things, I'm a fan of some things they do and a fan of other things. I'm not a fan of other. Like for example, I think they're botching HBO Max. They're taking
did you
a whole
see that
bunch
they're
of
taking off basically all the decent, like why take off those movies? I don't understand.
yeah, you don't see Marvel doing that over at Disney Plus. You don't see them saying, "Well, now we're pulling down Captain Marvel and we're pulling down Civil War and we're pulling down Avengers
Right.
and get." No,
Like
all
what's the
those
goal?
movies. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think
Why?
that's
Yeah.
yeah. It's stupid. It's a bad decision. So I'm not going to pat them on the back for that. But if you show me like what you're doing with the Batgirl movie, or you show me what you're doing with Black Adam, all looks very, very good to me. So that I am going to say, yeah, keep it up. Woo. but I didn't like the last Matrix movie. It's like it's with all things. It's like you
Yeah,
like
I
some
haven't even
things, and
watched the new Matrix. To be honest, I didn't watch it.
I think it's the best Matrix sequel ever made, and that is not high praise because the bar was
Right.
so low.
Right. Yeah, no. So the Warner Brothers thing, and we talked about this last night, with on the show. Um we with these people, the Zack Snyder, like the super fans, or what they deem themselves the super fans. They're always just the boycott Warner Brothers thing is one thing, but
That's why I broke out the old hat because
the
no,
Warner Brothers hat,
no, I
the
won't be
Warner Brothers
boycotting them.
hat.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the boycott Warner Brothers, boycott Flash, boycott the Batman? Speaking of the Batman, we do have a little bit of something to talk about with that as
Oh
well.
yes, yes.
But I mean, what are these boycotts? Empty threats or actual studio challenges?
Well, I think some of these people are really serious. I think they're going to boycott these things, but it reminds me of my 6-year-old daughter having a temper tantrum because she didn't get what she wants. It's pathetic, and I think it just hurts their cause because why would any studio want to cater to the worst element of their fans. And
Right.
a bunch of fans throwing themselves on the floor and kicking and screaming isn't a good look. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I I can't wait until the merger happens. I really can't, because I can't wait for like whatever to happen, and we can finally be at rest with these topics. Like, or for the hopefully like there's some formal announcement that comes that says this is what we're doing as a company. We're Warner Brothers. This is it. And like there's no more speculation to be had, right? It's just a finite solution that
right,
they've put in place so that no one can question it anymore. And if you do question it, then you're out. Like it's either their way or the highway. No other option. So,
exactly.
have people. It's jarring, honestly. It really is jarring to look at the difference between like the Marvel fan base and the DC fan base. Because the Marvel fan base as a whole is generally pleased most of the time.
Austin says half the people screaming boycott WB are literally wearing WB merch in their profile pics.
Yeah, right. Like a Batman shirt, and they're screaming, "Boycott the Flash!" And it's like it's a Batman shirt, and you're like, "Well, that doesn't make sense." Like, okay, yeah, I don't understand. Speaking of the Flash, by the way, I saw this post on Instagram, right? And I just thought I'd pull it up a little bit here because all right, so hot take. This is one of the best designs Reverse Flash has ever had. There's just something about it that screams dangerous psychopath to me. Maybe it's the deep black contrasted with the yellow, creating the image of danger, or the perpetual wild smile. Probably both. I love this Reverse Flash design. I love the way this comic depicted it. There is a menacing look to and like you could see the vibration in it almost on the panel, which is great. I love that. And then look at this. This is a villain. That's a villain.
Yeah.
And with the Flash movie coming, like I either hope one, we don't get the Reverse Flash and we wait, or we get him in like a cameo as like a setup. I don't want him to be a part of this movie right away. I don't want him to be a part of the Flash world right away because I'm scared. I'm scared that they're gonna botch it.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty busy movie to begin with, so I don't
Right,
know.
and including Reverse Flash might be a little too much anyway. We already have
Exactly.
two berries, two Batmen, like two super people. So I really love this look for Reverse Flash, and I think Reverse Flash. Who is there any fan casting that you have for Reverse Flash? Don't say Matt McConaughey, please.
No, I don't have anyone in mind.
No.
Yeah, I could.
Nobody.
That's a tough character to cast. So I don't know. I'll leave
It is,
that one to
it
the
is a tough
experts.
character. It is a tough character cast. I'll give you that. I just don't think Matthew McConaughey would fit the bill, at least for
I could
Ezra
not see
Miller.
Matthew McConaughey wouldn't be the
And
guy.
we saw him as a villain in Dark, whatever it was, that the Steven Spielberg thing.
Oh, geez,
God, what was it called? I was super looking forward to it, and then it was just like, meh. But we saw him as a villain, and I just don't like him as a villain. I don't like Matthew McConaughey as a villain. I don't think he gives that villain vibe. Michael Fassbender, potentially, that could be a good casting. That could be a really good casting. Actually, who would you guys cast as Reverse Flash in the DCEU? Not.
I think it would have to be someone a little younger, though, wouldn't it?
Maybe
To match
maybe an
Ezra
unknown.
Miller.
Yeah, maybe an unknown. I honestly, I think. Did you ever watch The Flash on the CW?
Oh yeah. I gave up on it because
I think a lot of
the
people
quality
did.
fell apart, but definitely.
I think the draw to the first two seasons was that Reverse Flash aspect of it. And I think the guy that played Thawne. Well, it's kind of confusing, but the guy who played him, it did really well. really, really well. So, you know, there's got to be, it's got to be different. It's got to be, you know, more, a little bit more grandeur in the casting. So maybe they'll go with the no name, but maybe not. Maybe I don't know. They might need, especially after what Ezra's been doing, they might need another big star in this franchise in order to keep it moving forward. If depending on what happens with Batman, but
Absolutely.
anyway, all right, moving on. I do want to hear your thoughts on Moonfall. So, Moonfall, Crazy Joe. How was it?
I can't recommend it. I can't. I mean, I wasn't expecting much. I didn't go in expecting much, but I thought it would be fun. I thought, oh, we'll have a good time with this. Also, I really like Patrick Wilson. I think Patrick Wilson's one of those underrated actors. He's not like one of those top Hollywood guys that his name gets thrown around when people talk about their favorite actors, but he's good. And I was hoping this would be a fun time, and it's just kind of Roland
It wasn't
Emmerich
even
more.
fun.
It's just more the same. It's like it's exactly what Roland Emmerich does.
Yeah, it's a Roland Emmerich movie, like at its finest.
It's warmed over for like the 50th time. Like, I mean, like I love Independence Day, but I hate Independence Day 2. And believe me, this is more Independence Day 2 than Independence Day. It's actually got a very Independence Day feel to it, but not as good.
Roland Emmerich loves the, you know, sci-fi end of the world kind of thing. And he really like it's almost like beaten to death at this point with his, it's like similar visuals, everything. I mean, everything like is really similar. And I really didn't like the casting of the guy from Game of Thrones. I didn't like it. The trailers, they gave me this vibe, like he's like a comedic relief, but it's like, again, at the world's ending, right? Like we have a legitimately serious problem on our hands, and like he's just there, placed for comedic timing, and
he's
the
guy who figured it out. He's the
guy.
He's the Jeff Goldblum, you know, from Independence Day who found the code and they're using the satellites. He's the guy in this movie.
What's up, Andrew Casale, Anthony Beltray, Prakash back at the Pop Culture Corner Pantheon. I love to see that. Love to see it. Austin Lean. That name sounds familiar. I think he used to host a show on this platform.
I don't know. I feel like I just saw him last night.
I was in a paradox or something. I feel like I'm living in like a paradox or something. Because
a paradox is like in Back to the Future 2 when Doc asked himself for a wrench. That was a paradox.
Right. Okay. So, I feel like I'm living in an alternate reality. Like something's changed. You know, it's like the Berenstain Bear thing, the Mandela effect. Like something's changed, but I can't quite tell what it is.
I had a personal Mandela effect once.
Tell me.
Do you remember? I think you're a little younger than me, so I don't know if you remember. But back in the 80s, there was a sitcom called "It's a Living" about a bunch of waitresses, and one of them was an actress named Ann Jillian. And Ann Jillian had breast cancer. I mean, she even did a TV movie where she played herself, and it was like, you know, about her combating breast cancer. But I remember her dying. I remember her dying of breast cancer. I remember being at my grandmother's house and everybody was sitting around talking about, oh my God, Ann Jillian died. And I spent the next 20 years thinking she was dead. And then I found out she's not dead. She's alive and well. But I remember being around the kitchen table at grandma's and everyone being all sad she had died. I have that memory in my head, but it never happened.
Right. That's
so that's my personal Mandela effect.
Wow, that's super weird.
But I'm glad she's alive. I'm thrilled she's still out there. So
she's still kicking, doing well. Yeah,
it's a happy ending.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so Moonfall. I mean, these sci-fi movies, these things, these movies like this. You know, these are the movies that are going to be in theater. We talked about a little bit about it the other day about quantity and quality, right? The quality of the films coming out they're going to drop with the drops of budgets and that whole Netflix method of one movie a week every for a whole year, right? Like that's what studios are going to be aiming to do, push out more content so that they can force you to spend more time on their platform, because that's the ultimate goal, is to get you, the consumer, to stay on Netflix or stay on HBO Max for as long as possible. And they're going to look to do that quantity over quality. We're going to get more moonfalls. So I'm very nervous about the future of movie going.
It's kind of like that now, though, isn't it? I mean, like if you look at all the movies, I mean, obviously we're in pandemic times, but if you look to pre-pandemic, there were like 3-4 movies opening a week. How many of them were good?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, so I don't know. It's every studio has they got to have a movie for, we need a movie for this month, that month, like we got to, so they're pushing stuff out. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
But
what about because I just saw that he just said this Sonic. So did you watch the original Sonic?
Sonic the Hedgehog?
The movie that just came out?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater a couple of years ago. I got to tell you, it was better than I expected. But that was a movie I was really not expecting much from at all, because I'm not personally a fan of the genre of, we're going to take some old anime character from another time and do them in CGI and have them come into the real world. Like, to me, Sonic the Hedgehog was in the same boat as Yogi Bear or Alvin and the Chipmunks or Scooby-Doo. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of those kind of movies. But Sonic was better than most.
Yeah.
My kids loved it.
I'm excited for the second one. I am. It's natural. I think what they did there was pretty remarkable. Especially with the original design, and they went back and changed it due to fan, that was another time the fans kind of won. They were like, "Whoa, that's not Sonic. You need to go back and redesign that."
I have a viewer from the Mega Podtastic channel who's convinced that was all a setup, a studio setup. He said you couldn't reanimate it that fast. He said that was a publicity stunt, put out a trailer that everyone hates when you have the real effects ready to go, just so you can say, "Oh, look what we did for the fans." I think he's a nut job, but this guy is convinced that this was all a publicity.
Really, that's an interesting theory. I mean, from what I heard, it was a lot. It was really expensive, and I think the movie even might have been delayed a little bit because of it.
Yeah,
so
I think it got delayed about 6 months.
I don't think that that's the case, but conspiracy theories. I'm never one to completely dismiss it, if you will. I like a good conspiracy, like the rest of them.
Yeah.
So the Batman.
Oh yes.
So the Batman. They got that. Yeah, they have a screening for March 1st in IMAX. Now, I don't know if anyone knows this, but you can get tickets now. Now, can you talk to them about that, since you're the host of the show?
Yeah. Tickets are available now wherever you get tickets. I got mine through Regal. It's March 1st. I believe all showings are at 7 p.m. I mean, I'm looking in the Philadelphia region. I don't know, maybe different part of the country at some other time, but I think it's uniform 7 p.m. But yeah, you can go days early to see the Batman. And if I'm not mistaken, the tickets for the standard shows don't go on sale till Thursday.
Right.
But the tickets for this fan event are available right now. So
right.
I got
it's limited space.
Yeah. I think it's like one auditorium, one show, one auditorium per theater. So it's not like you get 25 shows to choose from. You got to get into that 7 o'clock show. So as of earlier, like a couple hours ago, it wasn't even close to sold out in the Philadelphia area. So I don't know what it's like now, but if you want to go, take a look now. Go check your, I don't know, wherever you like to go, your local IMAX.
Yeah. we partner with Showcase Cinemas, but unfortunately they don't partner with IMAX, so they will not be hosting that. So you definitely have to go take a look at like AMC. Like I'll be going to AMC theaters next to my house to see it on March 1st. March 6th is my birthday, so it's a little
Happy
birthday present to myself. Even though I have the AMC A list, so like I can go see 3 movies a week, for the $20 a month or whatever.
I
By the
just
way,
switched
highly
to
recommend.
Regal. Oh yeah, I had Regal. I had AMC A list. I just switched to Regal Unlimited because of showtimes. My local AMC just has the worst showtimes. They don't have matinees. They don't start showing movies till 3 p.m. And it's like I wanted to go to like a 12 noon. I'm working nights right now, so it's like I got the days free. I want to go during the day.
Damn, Anthony. Anthony bought 7 tickets. For what reason?
There you go.
I
So we
I
could
hope you
see
have
it. So
6
we could see
people to
it.
go with you.
No, he wants to see it 7 times. There's time travel involved. He's got to come back because it's only the one show. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it really doesn't really make that
there'll be
much sense.
7 Anthonys in a row. They're gonna. It's a lot of.
Another thing, Loki season 2 is gonna start filming this summer in England. Now I don't know if you knew this, but originally the series was not supposed to end where it did.
I did not know that. That's news to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, so they ended up splitting. So see, that's why season 2 was confirmed so quickly, was because they already they had a plan, like they had more to do, but the pandemic kind of cut it short. So they changed the ending to be more fitting, and then they lined it up for season 2 to continue that story. But the pandemic did come into effect with that one. So I mean, it's going to be. I mean, it's a continuation of the first season. I'm super excited. I thought Loki was really done superbly, and I'm really excited to see where the show can go.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed to hear that it's shooting in England. That's disappointing to me because the first season was shot in Atlanta, and I go every year to Dragon Con in Atlanta, and I don't know how many of people in the chat have gone to Dragon Con, but one of the main areas of activity, the main hub of activity of Dragon Con is the Atlanta Marriott Hotel. And that was the filming location for the TVA. So this year at Dragon Con, this past September, it was like a Loki celebration because we were literally holding the convention in the headquarters of the TVA, and everyone in Marriott staff was wearing TVA uniforms. Like that's how they dressed the staff of the hotel. So it was awesome. And I'm thinking, oh, are we going to lose that this year? They're not going to be back at the Atlanta Marriott. That's going to be a little sad, I think.
Yeah.
So
hey, real quick, Tommy Wiseau, man, liked my tweet.
Oh wow!
Look at that. So I asked Tommy Wiseau, I from the Aircut guy. He said, "Hey, Tommy Wiseau, can we get a restore the Snyderverse and release the Aircut tweet?" And then I retweeted it and said, "Let's get it. Let's get it, huh?" And then he actually liked it, man. Best one of the best actors in the world.
Well, hi, Mark.
Oh my God! Have you ever seen The Room?
Oh yes, I saw it in the movies. I went out to a
No
screening
way.
of it. Yeah, I own the Blu-ray. I love that movie. It's great.
Oh my God, I cannot.
What's a story?
Dude, I'm gonna ask him to come on the show. I'm gonna say, "Hey, Tommy, you want to come on the show, man? Let's message him. Let's message him right now."
That'd be fun.
Look, you can like literally just message Tommy. That's crazy.
And we could also see who you've been talking to.
Yeah, that's why I backed out of it. But anyway, yeah, Tommy Wiseau and we've been friends for quite some time now. It's just I don't know what else to say. I'm just that cool. But no.
I did not
So
hint
what are your expectations? Look what's trending. Robert Pattinson. What are your expectations for the Batman?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not looking forward to it. I really want to look forward to it. I really want to be excited for it because I love Batman. But it just looks too grounded in reality. It looks like I wasn't really a huge fan of the Nolan movies either, because I don't know if you know this, David Goyer, who wrote the Nolan trilogy of Batman movies, he said
Yeah.
in an interview once that Christopher Nolan did not want Batman to wear the costume
Yeah,
because
that's
he thought
crazy. Because he
the
thought it was.
costume wasn't realistic enough. And
Yeah, I
Goyer
know.
was, you
Imagine,
know, yeah,
imagine. Oh my God. I would literally, like, at that point, what the fuck do you do? Like, it's just James Bond.
exactly, exactly. And there comes a point. I always remind people. People always tell me, "Well, Batman is more realistic. Batman's realistic because he doesn't have superpowers." But you've got to put it in perspective. He is more realistic, but it's a sliding scale. He still lives in a fantasy world. He's a contemporary with Superman and Wonder Woman. He's got a villain who's a shapeshifter with Clayface. He's got a villain who could come back from the dead with Ra's al Ghul. This is still a fantasy world. So every time they're like, "Oh, we need to ground this in reality," I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. Like if I wanted super grounded reality, I wouldn't be watching a superhero movie. So I want to like this. I'm hoping I like this. I got my tickets. I'm going to be there March 1st. And I hope I come out and say, wow, I was wrong. This was fantastic. But I just don't like the approach that it's taken. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, I get
I
it. I
like
get it.
I like
I think,
Affleck's Batman better because Affleck existed alongside Superman and Wonder Woman. That was a more fantasy Batman, and that's
yeah,
the kind of
that was a
Batman.
Batman who lived in a world of gods,
Exactly.
like the actual Batman. The actual Batman, the character, typically lives in a world full of metahumans, and is that's what makes him so special. That's kind of
Yeah,
what makes him so special. It,
he's a human who could go toe to toe with these guys. He's
right.
he's their equal. He's their
That
equal as a human with no
right
superpower.
that needs to be a factor, and like when you make a grounded realistic Batman, right, like one like Nolan where there's no other superhero that exists, right, Batman really isn't that special, right, he's just a guy dressed in a suit,
Yeah,
doing like he's basically a glorified CIA agent at that point, right, he just
yeah,
has no loyalty to the country. It's more the world, and specifically Gotham City. But I mean, that part of that part of the character needs to be that he does live in this world where metahumans exist, and that he's just a guy in a suit, but he can go toe to toe with the best of them, with gods,
exactly,
with Darkseid, right? Like
exactly.
with Superman. That's what Zach did well. That's what Zach did really well was he made a Batman that not only, could be the detective, could be the shit, the brute, but was also that billionaire playboy and understood the world that he lived in and that it was very complicated.
Yeah, it's one of these things where that the trailer is supposed to get you more excited for the movie. The trailer, like if you whatever your excitement is, the trailer should make you more excited. And the Batman trailers have made me less excited because I'm a big
Really
fan of
though?
Matt Reeves. Yes, I love Matt Reeves. He made, I think, one of the greatest vampire movies ever made with Let Me In. I interviewed him once. I interviewed Matt Reeves on my podcast, and it was during a snowstorm, and the power went out, and we lost the whole interview. It was heartbreaking. But Let Me In was fabulous. His Planet of the Apes movies. So when I heard he was coming on, I was excited. Robert Pattinson's a good actor. Every cast member they added, I was all for this movie until I started seeing what they're dressing the Riddler like and what they're dressing Catwoman like. And my enthusiasm just started to fall. And I'm like, this isn't what I want. It doesn't mean it can't be good. I always talk about The Dark Knight. I say The Dark Knight is we have a
Uh-oh.
smoke alarm going off here. That's been happening a lot lately. I just changed the battery in that thing and it's
I
hypersensitive.
know. It seems whenever you change the battery, by the way, I forgot to put this up earlier. Um, But yeah, it seems like whenever you change a battery in a smoke alarm, it just gets worse. I don't
Yeah,
understand it. But yeah, so the Batman, I don't know, man. I think that they could be laying the seed work for Superman to be introduced. Like we don't know. We really don't. We don't know that if this story is like Nolan's where there's no other metahumans. We don't know that yet. We know
I
that
honestly would have preferred if this movie was about the Affleck Batman just recast, because we know Affleck quit. Affleck didn't want to do it anymore. Okay.
like a younger
Uh,
prequel.
yeah, I mean, they could have just put Robert Pattinson in the same online. Yeah, let's take
Been
the
getting a
clothes
lot of
off.
these lately. Getting a lot
Love
of the
face, love
spam.
face. There you go. But no, I would have liked it if they just took Robert Pattinson and stuck him in there with Jeremy Irons and J.K. Simmons and
and just said it
uh,
was a prequel.
exactly. And then he could even be. It doesn't even have to be a prequel. I mean, look at Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's in his 40s, but he's not exactly an old looking dude. I mean,
No, man. I mean,
he
I think he looks better now than he did when he was shooting the reshoots for Justice League.
right.
Like,
I mean, you always go into these things with willing to take a little, you know, element of disbelief. So, if you can play with the age a little, it's not going to be that big a deal. So,
right. I understood. Now, I mean, you do understand, like, you heard about the whole concept about, like, why Ben left, why Matt came in. You know, all that stuff.
oh yeah.
Okay. So,
But I wish, and I understand that Matt Reeves said, "Oh well, I'd like mine to be set in a separate universe. I'd like mine to be its own thing." But I kind of wish Warner Brothers had said, "No, that's not what we're doing.
right. And kind
We're
of
doing
left it on the table and said, you can do it or not. But this is what we
exactly."
want it as.
Exactly. It's like you don't go into Marvel. I mean, look, Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright's proof. You don't go into Marvel and say to Kevin Feige, "Oh yeah, I want to make a oh, who's a superhero they haven't done yet? I want to do NFL Super Pro, but I don't want him to be tied to the MCU because
Right.
Kevin Feige's going to laugh you out of the room. He's going to be like, "No, we're." Who
That's
remembers NFL Super Pro? There's an obscure Marvel character from the 90s.
right. I guarantee no one knows who that is.
Oh,
Um,
I
but no, and I do understand where you're coming from, man. I get it. I get it. Honestly, with the Batman, I am excited for it. I'm not gonna lie. I think we have seen set photos where it looks like there's some Halloween party. Someone's dressed up as Superman. Someone's dressed up as Wonder Woman. So I mean, this world is clearly referencing other heroes to some degree. Maybe that gets left on the cutting room floor. I'm not sure. We won't know. But I mean, maybe they did come to a compromise with Matt Reeves and said, look, we're gonna get, we'll let you do it, but we're doing the multiverse. So at any moment, we could use the Flash, etc., so on and so forth, to connect the universes and then pull him into here. Like maybe that was
I fully
contingent.
expected that. I fully expected that this Batman movie was going to be set in its own universe. Then the Flash movie would come out and do some timey-wimey stuff, and then next thing we know, Robert Pattinson's our Batman in the main universe. But no, that's not where they went. But I was convinced that's where they were going to go.
Right. Okay.
I don't even think you need to explain it. It's like it's Darren on Bewitched. It's the second Aunt Viv on Fresh Prince. You just
right. You just do it. It's Rhodey in the MCU. They kind of meta addressed it at the beginning of the Iron Man 2 as well. Like, when Don Cheadle is now, when he's on trial, he's like, I know I'm not the guy that you thought I was. And they basically say it, but they're like, and what it was referring to is, I know I'm not Terrence Howard. Get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Just move on. And Marvel's done. Edward Norton in the Hulk, right? Like they Marvel's done it seamlessly, and like I think, and that brings up another point. Like, what do you think about the casting for T'Challa? Like, do you think that they should recast, or do you think
Oh,
that they should do the CGI thing?
absolutely. I think they should recast. I don't like the idea of passing the mantle on to another character because to me, let's forget. Not only did Chadwick Boseman pass away, Stan Lee recently passed away. And who
Right.
did Stan Lee? Who's the character created by Stan Lee? It's T'Challa. It's not Shuri. Shuri was just created in like I think 2012. I mean, she's a character that's only about 10 years old. She doesn't have any kind of like long
Like not
legacy with
legacy lore, yeah.
exactly. And I've seen interviews for Stan Lee called T'Challa the character he was most proud of.
Of making?
The first major black superhero in comics. And I know people are going to say,
Something to
"What
be
about
John.
Blade?" I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
what?
movies.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
talking about
right.
the comic books. Uh, so yeah, I feel like that's the character. That's the character that holds the weight, and that's the character that inspired so many people. I think you recast, and I even know who I'd like to see recast. Star Trek Discovery's David Ajala. Is that how you pronounce his name? David, the guy who plays Book on Star Trek Discovery. I think he'd be awesome as the new T'Challa. But
I
it's
used to
not
have
where
a
they're going.
producer that would be able to bring all these things up for me, but he's long gone. I don't know where he is.
Let's bring in Loveface XYZ as the producer. XYZ Loveface could be the
What's his name? No, what
David Ajala. He
Ajala?
plays the. I think it's Ajala. He
Oh,
plays
okay. I got him. I got him.
Cleveland
I got him.
Booker. Cleveland Booker on Star Trek Discovery. He's a good actor, and I think he'd be. I think he'd be awesome in the part. Quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot what having a producer was like.
See, I've never had a producer. There he is.
Wow, he could definitely do it. He could definitely take over as Black Panther, as T'Challa. I am all for this. Honestly, I'm honestly baffled. I think this is a great choice. That what a cast, what a throw out there. Good job.
Yeah, if you watch Discovery, he's a good actor too. He's been on the show for 2 seasons now, or a season and a half.
Yeah, it's I mean it's I don't know if it's not really my kind of thing, but I mean this guy, I mean the look, he's got the look. If I could see him suited up as Black Panther, and it would be kind of seamless. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. A lot of people wanted maybe them to M'Baku, this guy right here, for him to take over, right?
I mean, I'm not saying that can't work. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. That could work.
You can do
But
whatever you want. Again, it's
yeah,
fucking mythical fairy tale creatures we're talking about. But what's gonna do justice to the character? Right?
I think that Kevin Feige had a plan. He had a story arc. He had a plan that involved T'Challa. I say finish off T'Challa's story, and if you want to pass it off after that, okay, fine. But at least tell the story that you intended to tell, because the character is bigger than any actor. The character, there was a T'Challa before there was a Chadwick Boseman. The character's older than Chadwick Boseman was. And Chadwick Boseman's brother even came out and said he would want them to recast. He would want that
Right.
legacy to live on. So
Right. The character of T'Challa, like it, an off-screen death, and or just like an like a never acknowledging like what truly happened. I think that would be way worse for the franchise than recasting. And even if you wanted to recast, just a recast for one film, and have that maybe the character like retire or walk off into the sunset, uh, uh, whether it be forcefully or not. Just something. I want the character to come back and to get another shot at being on screen, and see what could happen, because I think the fans want the recast.
mhm.
I don't, especially with the Shuri thing, right? Shuri,
Yeah.
she's not that the actress who plays her is quite controversial.
Yeah, that absolutely, that's true. Also, I don't think Shuri as Black Panther is just, even if the actress wasn't controversial, I just think it's a bad idea. And people always say, "Well, it happened in the comics." True, it did happen in the comics, but just because something happened in the comics doesn't mean it was a good idea. I don't
Right.
think it was a good idea in the comics. I don't think it's a good idea for a movie because Shuri, what is Shuri's strength? What is the best thing about Shuri? Shuri is the levity in these movies. She brings a sense of humor to
Yeah.
Black Panther. She's the smartest girl in the room. She's the genius working in the lab, inventing stuff. She's not the hand to hand combatant.
Right.
And I feel like if you try to put her in that uh, category, you're taking away the thing that makes her special. You're taking her out of the environment where that character shines. So you're really not doing any justice to the character, I don't believe.
Yeah, I agree. I can't say I disagree with you there. And I think that Marvel, I hopefully, I mean, from what I've heard, they're just, it's not what's the recasting is not what's happening, and it disappoints me, man. It really does disappoints
I
me.
I'm kind of hoping it's a. I heard that they're not going to kill off T'Challa. They're not going to say T'Challa died. I could be wrong. But that's what I heard. So I'm wondering if saying we're not going to recast is a temporary measure. Like I'm wondering if they're going to say, "Oh, T'Challa's off on a mission somewhere," and recast later, because then the death of Chadwick Boseman isn't as fresh in people's minds. Maybe they feel now is not the right time to recast, and they're basically treading water until a little bit more time passes. That I could deal with a little more, I think.
I could understand that. Yeah, I can understand. I could deal with that. I could understand that. Um, but I mean, again, we're not the studio, so it really doesn't really matter what we say. But
Mhm.
we'll still talk about it.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and it might be awesome.
Might be awesome. Who knows? Yeah. Um, we got another fun topic. So, Madam Webb. Now, are you familiar with the character?
A little bit. I'm not.
So
I always say I know DC Comics like the back of my hand, and I know Marvel Comics fairly well. I was always more
Okay.
of a DC guy,
Well,
but
she didn't originate in the comics anyway. She
right,
originated
right.
in the animated show. With when Spider-Man Carnage, uh, she was created basically as like a bridge to the multiverse, like to because I forget what was happening in the episode, but Spider-Man Carnage was going to like rip apart the multiverse, and she comes along and uh, is basically the bridge, and then she became quite popular with the fans. So this recent new that's the wrong thing. Recent news has Dakota Johnson playing Madam Web in Sony's Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I'm not sure if that means Sony's like the Morbius or the Venoms, or if it's like the Spider-Man No Way Home style. I'm gonna go with the former, being that she would appear in her own film, which I don't think you can get away with a Madam Web movie. I
Well,
don't.
it sounds to me like this character is being radically reinvented from the ground up. I don't. I mean, just look at Madam Web is an elderly woman, and we've got Dakota Johnson. Like, I mean, that's not one-to-one casting at all. I feel like this is an in-name only Madam Web. I could be dead wrong, but the
Okay.
casting tells me it's got to be.
It could be a
Uh,
huge bridge though between the Sony universe and the Marvel universe, like Madam Web, and then the whole Doctor Strange. Like, so Doctor Strange is on this side of the say the MCU and the Sony MCU, the SMCU run parallel to each other, right? Those two are the bridge between it. and that could allow for passing and passing back and forth. So I think it could be a good call. But her own film, I don't think the character is that rich enough. Is that rich in story? You're gonna need a lot of supporting character. You're gonna need a really, really intricate story to be able to tell. And I hope it spins out of No Way Home. If they're gonna do it, I want it to spin out of No Way Home. Like, I want No Way Home to be why she comes into the fold. That's the only thing that could, that makes sense to me. So I mean, I don't know how you feel, but
This is why I can't wait to see Morbius. I just can't
listen. I am
wait to
hyped
see
for
Morbius.
Morbius. I don't know why
Yeah,
everyone downplays
I'm
it.
so disappointed Morbius got pushed back because we do not have any idea what Sony is doing. And we're not going to have any idea what Sony's doing until we see Morbius, because that trailer clearly shows us references to the MCU, references to Amazing Spider-Man. We see an image of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. So what is this Sony Spider-Man universe going to be? How connected to the MCU is it going to be? How is it going to be connected to the MCU? We don't know any of that, and we're not going to know till we see this damn movie that they keep pushing back. So, I mean, this movie is like almost like the Rosetta Stone, I think, for Sony, where we try to decipher what's going on here, and I can't.
And you know what the thing about Morbius is, they got the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man slash no. So it's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man poster slash PlayStation Spider-Man. Then they have Tom Holland's Vulture in a villain, and then there's some other clues. They've kind of
the Osborn Tower from Amazing Spider-Man.
Right. So they've kind of thrown all three in there, and I feel like it's for a reason. And I think they went back after, the delays and all that, and I think they wove in they knew that it was going to come out after No Way Home, and they knew that they had a little bit more wiggle room at that point. And maybe this movie will thrive because of it. Maybe if it came out before No Way Home, it would have been way too confusing. But now I think audiences are ready, and they're like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. Like, now I understand it.
Absolutely. So I don't know. I have a pet peeve, and I again, we don't know what they're doing with Madam Web, but I have a pet peeve of these characters when they take the name of an existing character, but nothing about the character is the same. And you're like, what? I always say, how far can you bend a character before you broke it? Like the perfect example is James Olsen on the Supergirl TV show. There is nothing about that character that speaks to Jimmy Olsen. Now, some people are going to go for the superficial and say, oh, because the race changed. Well, no, it's not because of the race change, because you can change his race and still have him act like Jimmy Olsen. But the fact is, they took a character who's kind of a, dorky photographer named Jimmy, who wears bow ties and, green checkered jackets, and, and they turned him into a suave, good-looking guy who the ladies all love, who doesn't like to be called Jimmy. He likes to be called James. And it's like, what connects these? What is the so if this is going to be something like them doing that with Madam Web, it's like, well, why are we using the name Madam Web? Why?
I think it's got to be for the draw. It's like Civil War. Like Civil War, the movie was nothing like the book, but it has a built-in audience, and that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking to bring down the pipeline, is that existing audience that comes with that. So I know you had to be out. I know you have like a couple minutes left. Listen. We got through some topics today, some good topics today, and we have plenty more. We have much more in the works together, especially you, me, Meta, Black Ops. I really can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Nobody got to hear Super Chat Hippo sing. Nobody
Yeah,
got to
I
hear him
know.
sing your song.
It was a low. It was a small. It
Wants
was
to-
a bad day
wants
for
to
Super
sing
Chat.
to you, man. He wants to sing his song. You got a minute or so to hear this. He can carry a tune, man.
He can carry a tune. Maybe on the next Jivin' with Joe. Maybe on the next Jivin' with Joe, we can hear the hippo sing finally again. It's been a while since we've heard him sing. So,
Mhm.
all right, take us out. Take us out, Mr. Host.
Well, there you go. Thanks for coming, and you can check out this and many other fine shows.
William Coins, like right at the end. Right
Hey.
at the end.
I was in the middle of a teleconference and I got another one coming up, so I wouldn't be able to jump on tonight. But I just want to swing by and say hi, Joe, hi Ty. It's been forever. It's been a long time.
Yeah, man.
I'm never available this time of day. That's why I'm usually available like overnight. But I heard the Spider-Man topic come up as far as Madam Webb goes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the casting. My only thing about with like if I've said this before, I think Sony needs to use this as an opportunity to shape their own universe with their own Spider-Man, and just do it that way. And my progression would have been Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then after you've gotten the mileage out of that Spider-Man, 3 to 5 years from now, go into Miles Morales if that's where you want to go. But ultimately, they need to end up with a Spider-Man that they control the narrative of. And that's what I would like to see. I don't want to see.
I think Andrew Garfield could be a good choice. I really
He's a
do.
good choice. He's young enough to play the role for a while. I'd give him 1 or 2 more movies, and by like I said, if you make a movie every 2 to 3 years, by the time you're done with that, you could introduce Miles Morales with a Tobey Maguire as his mentor as an older Spider-Man, but you make Miles Morales the focus of his own universe. Don't make him a sidekick in somebody else's. I don't want to see another Tom Holland situation again. Be honest with you, that's just me.
Agreed. I actually agree super completely that if you're gonna bring Miles in, it needs to be in his own trilogy, his own series, because he's not a character that takes that he's not a side character. He's he's a main character.
Yeah.
And he needs to be as such. But I mean, William, we were just wrapping up, man. So I do have maybe I don't know, what's your schedule like tomorrow or over the weekend?
Tomorrow over the weekend, I got Super Bowl things coming up. I got a couple sales. We got a couple different telephone conferences for what we hope to be our Batman promo. So I'm going to be in front of a computer or with customers. So I'm actually at the store right now. So if you got a link, send it. And if I'm able to find a way, I'll be able to jump on. But
for
this
sure,
is supposed to be my vacation from other things, and it's turned out to be everything but a vacation. I mean, I'm literally on screens with other people trying to get some licensing stuff done in time for some things that are supposed to be happening, and I can't even go live and announce those things because in order to do that, I need to be on social media stuff where I don't get copyright strikes, and going through the companies is how we do that. So we don't.
Understood. I know the game. I actually have a meeting on Thursday with Showcase about the same thing. So if you guys can see, like, I'll do it really quickly. See the logo in the corner?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, they didn't want me using that yet, and I got into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, they'll come after you. Trust me.
Well, I work with Showcase directly, and they so we have a final meeting.
One Moonfall shirt.
Yeah, I heard that movie was great.
It's a movie. It's definitely a movie.
Yeah,
we can agree.
But I have a meeting on Thursday with Showcase to finalize some things. But so I know where you're coming from. But
you cannot. You absolutely. If anybody's ever doing this, you cannot move faster than the studios.
Nope.
You go at whatever pace they go at. Do not get out ahead of the studios because it could get ugly. So, But yeah, just wanted to stop by, say hi. Got the link.
I miss you, man.
Yeah, I miss you too, man. Like I said, this is weird to even be here with daylight out. So,
right.
Joe, I'll see you around, dude. What are you wearing on your shirt? What kind of crazy shirt you got on today?
The Breakfast Club, class of '85,
with a Warner Brothers hat on too. I love it.
I can't believe I'm older than you, man. I can't believe it. All right, guys. You guys, nice show.
Thank you, Will. We'll see you soon. All right, guys. Yeah, make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Become a member, help support the show. And of course, Austin. Listen, we did have fun today. Not gonna lie, we did play it a little meta. But it is a one-time thing. It's not going
Yes.
to. It's not going.
Next week.
It's not going to be a
It's going to be
recurring
called Next Week's Jivin' with Jimmy. So we are changing the name.
No, this was just a little playful banter and a funny send off, if you will. But no, truly, we wish Poindexter Lounge and Jack and all the best. We have good relations with all of them. But of course, just wanted to have a little fun and poke and prod a little bit. It's always fun. And I got to do it with my buddy Crazy Joe. So I was super happy to do that. I thought, and it just so happened that Joe's from Philadelphia. It it was just too perfect of a joke to not use it. So it was so easy. Guys, with that being said, you can catch season 2 of Jivin' with Jack on the Poindexter Lounge starting February 15th, co-hosted by Austin Lean.
Why not? Why February 15th? Why not tonight? Is he lazy?
I don't know.
It sounds like Jack's lazy. Because we're doing a show and he's not. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. Hey, don't you live like 10 minutes from Jack anyway?
He's somewhere around here. I've never met him.
You've never met?
You've never met the guy. I mean, I've talked to him in backstage Twitter groups, but I've never met the guy.
Oh, interesting.
I've never even been on a stream with him. So yeah, no. But next week when we come back, Loveface XYZ will be our co-host.
Yeah.
Without clothing. It's gonna get wild.
Online strips, baby, without clothing.
You're gonna want to send super chats that week. Trust me.
Trust us, guys. Come on, let's get it going. No, Joe, you're awesome, man. And much more to come. Much more work to be done. And many more streams to be had. I also have another video coming out tonight. And then on Thursday, Sean O'Connell will be joining the show, which actually I do have to talk to Austin about. So with that being said, guys, stay true to who you are, be a professional, stay respectful, and remember, hope is one thing, but toxicity is another. So don't be toxic.
And keep wearing your pajamas.
Yeah. Joe, I know you have your own channel, so go ahead and plug it, man. Come on.
Yeah, Megapodtastic right here on the old YouTube, and we're going through some changes right now, trying to figure some things out, but still regular movie reviews, reviewing physical media. So yeah, come on over,
guys. All right. And
come and knock on my door. I'll be waiting for you.
This will be the last time anyone ever sees this. The Jivin' with Jack outro.